This is the Liaison podcast with Izzy Park, and today's travel show is about discovering how centuries-old desert wisdom blends seamlessly with Abu Dhabi's modern opulence. Abu Dhabi, where ancient desert meets impossible dreams. Picture this. You're standing barefoot on marble so pristine it mirrors the sky above, and that sky is doing something absolutely extraordinary. Through a geometric dome of 8,000 metal stars, light fractures into patterns that dance across your skin like golden rain. It shifts every single moment as the sun moves, creating shadows and shapes that Islamic architects dreamed of centuries ago, now rendered in space-age precision. This is the Louvre Abu Dhabi at noon, and you're watching civilization itself made visible through mathematics and art. Around you, couples from Mumbai hold hands before a Da Vinci painting. Students from Cairo sketch ancient pottery. A family from Seoul photographs Mesopotamian artifacts beside French Impressionism. And you realise you're standing in a museum that cost billions to build, on an island that barely existed 60 years ago, in a city that's rewriting the rules about what money can actually create. Abu Dhabi isn't trying to be Dubai's sophisticated older sister, though that's what everyone says. It's attempting something far more ambitious, using oil wealth to become a legitimate cultural capital before the oil runs out. And here's the wild part, it might actually be working. The case for going right now, this moment, is almost unfairly compelling. Between November and March, while everyone back home is layering sweaters and complaining about darkness, Abu Dhabi is serving up 26-degree perfection. The kind of warmth that makes your shoulders drop 2 inches the moment you step outside. The kind of light that turns the Persian Gulf into liquid turquoise and the desert dunes into rolling sculptures of gold. But the weather's just the opening act. What makes Abu Dhabi unmissable is this absolutely fascinating tension between preservation and ambition. This is a place where you can watch traditional falconry, these magnificent birds doing what they've done for Bedouin hunters for thousands of years, then drive 20 minutes to stand inside a building that leans 18 degrees, 4 times further than the Tower of Pisa. It's called Capitol Gate, and it exists purely because someone asked, why not, and had the resources to make physics negotiate. The experiences you can have here simply don't exist anywhere else on Earth. Where else can you kayak through mangrove forests in the morning, stand in the world's most beautiful mosque at sunset, then eat dinner in a desert camp where Bedouin hospitality meets Michelin-level cuisine, under stars so bright you'll understand why ancient navigators trusted them completely. Abu Dhabi built itself from almost nothing in a single generation, and that impossible speed created this collision of timelines. Medieval meeting futuristic, sacred meeting sophisticated. And for those of us in our 20s and 30s trying to figure out how to travel meaningfully while also wanting comfort and beauty and those moments that make everyone back home slightly jealous, Abu Dhabi gives you permission to have both. The cultural depth is legitimate. These aren't theme park recreations of Emirati heritage. These are actual investments in preservation and scholarship. But it's wrapped in luxury so unapologetic you can embrace it without guilt. Plus, I'll be honest, the content practically creates itself. That shot of you in modest dress, standing beneath the Grand Mosque's courtyard at golden hour. 80,000 square metres of hand-knotted carpet stretching behind you. White marble columns reaching toward those 82 domes. That's going to live rent-free in your camera roll forever. The soul of the place. Let's talk about what it actually feels like to move through this place. There's this quality to the air, this particular combination of desert sun reflecting off Gulf waters and white marble that creates an almost ethereal glow. Everything feels suspended between moments, between eras. The call to prayer echoes between glass skyscrapers 5 times daily, structuring time in this ancient rhythm, while around it, the city pulses with construction and ambition. The first thing you need to understand about Emirati culture is that it's held by a minority in its own capital. Emirati nationals make up only about 20% of Abu Dhabi's population. The rest, South Asians, Filipinos, other Arabs, Westerners, people from literally hundreds of nations, create this remarkable layering of cultures. But that indigenous Emirati heritage is carefully, almost fiercely preserved at the centre of everything. Bedouin culture forms the foundation. The desert wasn't some romantic backdrop for these people. It was survival. And the values that kept them alive still matter enormously. Hospitality isn't just politeness here, it's sacred. I've watched locals offer coffee to strangers with such genuine warmth, it made my cynical little heart crack open. This Arabic coffee ceremony, serving gahwa, flavoured with cardamom alongside sweet dates, follows specific etiquette developed over centuries. You accept with your right hand, drink the tiny cup, and shake it gently when you've had enough. Family honour and reputation matter in ways those of us from individualistic cultures struggle to fully grasp. Friday, the holy day, transforms the entire rhythm. Weekends run Friday and Saturday, and you'll see the Corniche fill with families promenading in the evening. This beautiful mix of traditional dress and modern life. Modesty matters here, not as restriction, but as cultural value. Shoulders and knees covered in public spaces isn't asking much, and in religious sites, women cover hair. But what surprised me is how safe women consistently report feeling. Solo female travellers walk streets at night without fear. Harassment is rare and socially unacceptable. The sensory experience of Abu Dhabi is intoxicating. Incense and oud fragrance drift from every luxury hotel and mall, this deep, woody scent that becomes the smell of the Emirates in your memory. Air conditioning creates these temperature shocks everywhere, the brutal heat cut by Arctic indoor chill. Salt air along the Corniche, cardamom in your coffee, marble cool beneath your feet in the Grand Mosque. The Grand Mosque experience. The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque deserves its own moment here, because it's not just a building, it's a statement of identity. Completed relatively recently, it represents Emirati Islam's particular expression. Inclusive enough to welcome non-Muslims inside, aesthetically ambitious enough to rival anything in the world, and spiritually sincere enough that standing in its courtyard at sunset genuinely moves you regardless of your beliefs. The numbers are almost absurd. Capacity for 40,000 worshippers. 1,000 columns inlaid with semi-precious stones forming floral patterns. 7 crystal chandeliers, including one weighing 10 tons. The largest hand-knotted carpet on earth, created by 1,200 artisans, stretching across the prayer hall. But statistics don't capture what happens when evening prayer begins, and you watch from the observation area as thousands move in synchronized prostration, this wave of devotion that's both ancient and immediate. At night, the building glows with programmed lighting that shifts through subtle colors, and the reflection pools surrounding it create perfect mirror images. It's one of those rare places that exceeds expectations despite the hype. Desert adventures. Now, let's get into what you actually do here, beyond stand around looking awestruck. The desert experiences are non-negotiable. You haven't been to Abu Dhabi if you haven't gone into the empty quarter Rub al Khali, the largest continuous sand desert on Earth. Dunes reach heights of 250 metres, these massive rolling waves of sand in shades from pale gold to deep amber, depending on the light. We hope you enjoyed the trip. You can support the Liaison podcast by rating it 5 stars and pressing the follow button. And remember, one's destination is never a place, but rather a new way of looking at things.
Grab news. Thomas.